Can we say that old age is telling on Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of Redeemed Christian Church of God? If you look at your screen, here are some of the statements he made 2 days ago, that if not that he prayed, the Nigerian Naira would have fallen down, crashed down to the point where $1 will equal to 10,000 Naira. But thank God he prayed. You see, ever since that the Adeboye's pastors and followers are now getting elected and appointed into political offices in Nigeria, that Adeboye has been making some laughable statements over the years. You all recall that this same man was busy castigating leaders who came from other ethnic groups in Nigeria. As at that time, he was busy leading protests. The moment his sons, his spiritual sons and pastors and followers started getting into political office, he started organizing prayer work instead of protest. Now, I want to use the same Bible that all of us Christians believe in to show to you what God says concerning men of God that are like Daddy Adeboye and his likes in Nigeria. Let's listen.
Ezekiel chapter 22 verse 27. This is NIV version. Her officials within her are like wolves, tearing their prey. They shed blood and kill people to make unjust gain. You may want to ask yourself, what is the meaning of this verse? Now let's read context. This context is going to explain to us what is being talked about. It's going to reveal everything in plain language. Now let's read. Context. This verse is part of a broader prophetic message in Ezekiel chapter 22, where God speaks through Ezekiel to condemn the sins of Jerusalem. The chapter highlights the corruption and injustices of the city's leaders, priests, and people. Verse 27 specifically calls out officials who act as predators, exploiting and oppressing others for personal gain. This verse challenges leaders to examine their motives and action. Are they serving others selflessly, or are they pursuing power and wealth at the expense of justice and compassion? For those teaching themes of collaboration and empowerment, this passage serves as a warning against leadership that fosters division and exploitation instead of unity and fairness. Quickly, let's look at Ezekiel 22 verse 28. This is also NIV version. Her prophets whitewash these deeds for them by false visions and lying divinations. They say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, when the Lord has not spoken. What does this verse mean again? Now let's read the context. The context will explain it to us. This verse continues God's indictment of Jerusalem, focusing on the corruption of the prophets. These spiritual leaders fail to call out the sins of the leaders. I hope you are reading it. These spiritual leaders, as the pastors, the imams, the bishops, they fail to call out the sins of the political leaders and people. Instead, they offer false reassurances, claiming divine approval for actions God condemns. They whitewash the injustice, giving a deceptive appearance of righteousness while enabling wrongdoing. Now, reflection, my brothers and sisters. This verse is a cautionary reminder about the responsibility of spiritual leaders and influencers. True leadership requires courage to speak the truth, even when it is uncomfortable or unpopular. In teaching themes of collaboration and empowerment, this verse highlights the importance of integrity and accountability. Leaders must avoid masking issues with false reassurances and instead work honestly towards justice and the common good.
Now, you have read it yourself. You see, you never get to see Nigerian pastors or African pastors preaching from verses like this. Every time, oh, you're blessed. Oh, your economy is not of this world. Even when they say, when the people of the world say there is a casting down, we will say there is a lifting up. There is an economic melting down, we will say there is a lifting up. Things like this are the things you say. And you know me, Tejiri, I will always want to bring things to your consciousness. You see, these people, men of God, Daddy Adeboye, and there are some of them that are doing beautifully well. So let's not wash all of them down. No. I respect them so well. Even the Daddy Adeboye, I have my utmost respect for him. But you see, this man and his likes has been urging us to pray ever since I was young. until date, not the thing is getting worse. Can we say God is not listening to them? They keep telling you to pray for the same politicians who are looting our commonwealth, and they will never face them to tell them the truth. They keep telling you to pray for leaders. And I ask them, the Aso Rock, where they for Abuja Desu, do you know what is in Aso Rock that you are praying for? Do you know the darkness that is in these political spaces? People who are not even ready. At times they tell us to pray. As in, do you know who these politicians are? I don't want to say much on this issue. If you not reason what I tell you to your chichichi, we know they pray. I not go fit follow now.